I feel like it's no surprise to anyone how terrifying the Sims community can really be. And I've been in different communities and fandoms before in my lifetime, but this is by far the worst kind of toxic community to be in my personal opinion. Now, everybody is entitled to their own opinions when it comes to this, but for me personally, being in this community for as long as I have, and even after the buyout has been officially announced by EA, it has become very, very scary and toxic in the worst way possible. Like, I feel like before it was toxic, but now it's like worse than it was back then. And let me explain why. For the sheer fact of many people in the Sims community defending EA, a billion-dollar company, by the way, like it's their last life or morsel. I don't exactly know how to explain it. Like, it gets really terrifying to the point where you can't even give your honest opinion about a pack or whatever without somebody in the comments talking about you're just hating on The Sims 4 and it's a really good pack, you just haven't really played it yet, or something similar to that. People have a hard time taking constructive criticism in this game, and instead of taking it as constructive criticism, it's taken as hate or bullying or whatever else they want to call it by simply just saying your own thoughts and opinions on things. And to the point where a lot of my own personal favorite creators who still play The Sims can't give their honest, full opinion without the sheer fear of backlash. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but for the people in the Sims community who are content creators who make honest review videos about a pack or whatever, I really appreciate, because it gives a very raw and authentic opinion or objective about a pack without it being like paid or sponsored or they're in the EA Creator Network. And that's not to say people who are sponsored or in the EA Creator Network cannot give their honest, truthful opinion, but I do find it kind of hard to completely trust them 100% if they are in fact being paid by EA or they're in the Creator Network, because there's just certain things that you can and can't say about the game. Now, obviously, you want to be respectful. I never in any shape or form want to condone being disrespectful or bullying or hatred to EA. Like, that's never something in my conduct, but I do fully agree with constructive criticism when it's needed. Obviously, if there's a pack that is not good and needs to be talked about, there should be no reason why people are trying to defend that pack or defend EA to the point where they're literally held at gunpoint. And it's truly terrifying what the Sims community has turned into, especially after the buyout. I feel like it's gotten a lot worse because a lot of people are obviously angry and furious, and they need something or someone to gear their anger towards. And for a lot of people in the community who are just giving constructive criticism or any kind of criticism about the game at all, it's suddenly taken as like hate or being jealous or whatever else they want to call it. And I do find it very unfair for creators who are just trying to give their honest, truthful opinion about a pack or whatever, and they can't do that because they're afraid of the backlash or the hate that they would get from the community. Now, I per se am a very small channel, so I know my unsolicited opinions about things really don't matter, but I do feel like in certain times like these, it's important to talk about certain things in the game that needs to be discussed and talked about, even if you personally feel like that's not a huge problem, like diversity and representation, bugs and glitches, etc., etc. Those have been ongoing problems with The Sims 4 for the longest time now, and it has been quite literally put on the back burner because now they're just now officially trying to add representation, diversity, fixing all of the bugs and glitches that have been happening throughout the years of them releasing expansion packs and game packs and stuff like that. So obviously we have to vote with our wallets when it comes to EA because that's the only way they'll ever really listen to us. Now, I've always talked about how The Sims 4 has positive things and negative things. I feel like anything in life has pros and cons, and that's no different for The Sims. And I wish people would stop trying to defend EA so much as if they are unable to quote unquote defend themselves. And like I said, this is a billion-dollar company. There should be no reason why we're making excuses for a billion-dollar company that has been in the business for years. They have been doing this practice for years, releasing buggy, broken, and glitchy packs, not including the necessary stuff for base game. I mean, like weather, Why are we paying for weather? Things that have been discussed throughout the years of The Sims 4's runtime have been addressed by the community multiple times before, and it has been shut down, ignored, and obviously no feedback was being implemented in the game, which just shows that EA only care about money. And as long as money is coming into their pockets, why would they change? I remember when a news article was released that basically said that if The Sims 4 does not do well, there will be no Sims 5. So it's the fact that people were literally threatened in the worst way possible. You can think whatever you want, but people in the Sims community were in fact threatened by EA to basically make a game that wasn't originally supposed to be a simulation game altogether, the best adaptation of The Sims, or else we wouldn't be getting a Sims 5. And years later, we still would not be getting a Sims 5 because of another reason of basically saying that there's too many packs and too many DLCs, and they don't want to have the players basically start over with a brand new game. And it's absolutely crazy that years later, now that The Sims 4 is kind of doing better for itself, that now we can't get a Sims 5 because of how well it's doing. So that just lets me know from the very beginning, EA never intended to make a Sims 5. Like, The Sims 4 was going to be the last iteration of the Sims franchise. There is no Sims 5, there is no Sims 6, there is no future for The Sims. This is The Sims that you're gonna get, and if you're not happy with it, then you're just not happy with it, you know, or you just go back to previous Sims games. But a lot of people enjoy certain aspects about The Sims 4 and enjoy certain aspects of The Sims 3 and other previous Sims games, and so it's really unfortunate to see that we will never be getting a Sims 5. I just feel like getting a Sims 5 will give EA a chance to basically start over from fresh, really take their time with this game instead of last minute trying to stitch pieces together with duct tape, because The Sims 4 on release was literally a last ditch effort to try and make a simulation game, even though it was originally supposed to be a multiplayer Sims game, but they decided to change it, and there's just so many issues and problems on its release, and there's still a whole bunch of problems now. So it's real unfortunate, but at the same time, I feel like I'm not surprised. A lot of us were held at gunpoint in the Sims community. Years later, we're still not getting a Sims 5 for a whole bunch of other reasons, so there was never going to be a Sims 5. But as of now, I think the royalty expansion pack that's about to be released is the final expansion pack for The Sims 4. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but there has been speculation within the Sims community that there is going to be one last expansion pack, which is the royalty pack, and that will be the final pack release for The Sims 4. So for people who still play The Sims 4 or whatever, at least now you don't have to worry about your mods and CC breaking because of each update patch and everything like that. But obviously, they're not gonna just leave The Sims 4 alone. Even if they no longer release any more packs, they will probably still try to do small little updates that they usually do. But at the same time, I highly doubt that as well, because if it's not profitable, why would they do it? But with that being said, we also heard about Project Renee, which I didn't really talk about in previous videos because I just feel like Project Renee was The Sims 4 before The Sims 4 was what it is now. Basically a multiplayer game, low render, a lot of monetization inside the game. And to be honest, it's not personally my cup of tea. I'm not really a fan of the whole multiplayer aspect, and I just wonder how that would really work for a simulation game altogether. But I know it's definitely possible. But if they're putting so much money into this new version of the game, it's not The Sims 5 or anything, but if they're putting so much money into this new version of The Sims Project Renee or whatever they're trying to call it now, it's like they should take that money that they're funding into Project Renee into The Sims 4. If we're not going to get a Sims 5 and we're not going to get anything out of The Sims 4, the least they could do is take that money that they have to fix certain bugs and glitches and overall try to make The Sims 4 better. I just feel like they really just need a fresh, clean slate because there's just so much packs now. There's just so much DLC, and this game is worth over 1K already. Like, it's crazy how expensive this game is, and the fact that the Sims community specifically are putting money into a company, into a game, into a franchise that does not have a prosperous future, which is unfortunate. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, the EA stands, the EA community stands are really scary people, because if you say one wrong thing, they will literally hunt you down. They will curse you out your name. They will call you everything out of the book and more. It's getting to a point where it's genuinely a scary place to be in. The Sims community has always been a toxic place, only because of the sheer fact that people are always trying to excuse EA or excuse what EA has been doing for the past year already. Like, EA has been doing this practice for years and no one has really said anything about it, because they want to make excuses that at least they're trying, or at least we're getting something, or something like that. And even now, it's hyped up to the extreme, because people are really going to hell and back for this game, for this company. And I'm just like, at what point is it enough? It's not worth going back and forth for a company that has had other games. Like, this is not an indie studio. This is not just 10, 13 people, 20 people working on this game. This is a billion-dollar company. They know better. They know what they're doing. They know exactly how they're obtaining their players, and they know exactly how to make you spend your money. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this little rant right here. Let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on it. You know I love hearing them. And I'm just going to say this. In no way, shape, or form is this video trying to hate or be disrespectful on EA. I really shouldn't even have to say that, because I feel like most of my videos are always people nitpicking about all the hate things I say about the game, but never really taking apart like all the good things I've said about the game, the pros and cons. Maybe I don't have a lot of pros that I can say about the game as of right now, but back in the day, I had a lot of pros and cons with this game equally. There's just good and bad things about anything and everything in life, and I just want everybody to understand that in no way, shape, or form I'm coming for EA or any specific Sims creator or anybody in the Sims community. Like, this is supposed to be a safe space. This is supposed to be a place where you can share your opinions without judgment. And if you want to be disrespectful or hatred about it, you can take that elsewhere. But here, I want to keep it very cordial, respectful. We can have debates in the comments, but in no way, shape, or form am I going to attack a person or call them out their name or whatever, or being disrespectful or hateful in the comments. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye.